Dante is not the one that got affected by the recent hotfix in Warframe. As you all know, Dante got nerfed, but I think it's not even a nerf but a good sort of balancing. First, Digital Extremes go hard with Dante, but then they reevaluate what they did, and now I think Dante is in the right power level after his changes. The Overguard generation is enough to both let Dante survive and support his allies. Digital Extremes adjusted the Overguard gain from Triumph and Lightverse, and I think it's now enough to make Dante survive Steel Path and beyond enemies. However, it's not the same Overguard generation as before, wherein you can just quickly gain hundreds of thousands of Overguard within 2 casts of Triumph. Based from experience, you would need to have Page Flight's crowd control to trim down enemy aggression and maintain your Overguard. And if that's not enough, then you can add the Radiation procs that grants confusion to enemies for further crowd control. This will complete the survivability of the Warframe, and I think he's really in a good spot right now. For his nuking part, Digital Extremes also tweaked the line of sight mechanic, that it is now more forgiving than the nerf they have implemented to the Tragedy and Darkverse nuking part of Dante. You can still nuke enemies as long as they are seen or partially seen by Dante, so I think this is a good enough fix for the Warframe too. I was expecting that Digital Extremes would lower the range and duration of Dante's abilities, but it seems that they haven't done that, and I was happy that they haven't touched the stats of the Warframes. Also, they haven't nerfed just yet specific interactions that make Dante's Exalted grimoire great in killing enemies. First of all, the secondary outburst plus Incarnate Ceramic Dagger still works with the Exalted grimoire of Dante. The idea is to put a lot of initial combo stats in your Incarnate Ceramic Dagger with the help of mods, Riven mod, and its perk that increases initial combo when you kill an enemy with your primary weapon, and it seems that the Gun and Blade perk treats the Exalted grimoire as a primary weapon for Dante, which allows you to stack 100 initial combos while killing enemies with your grimoire. You must need at least 220 combo count to get 12 times combo multiplier, so it would be good to get the plus 20 initial combo perk, then add initial combo mods from your Incarnate Ceramic Dagger. After that, you can add the Ready Steel Aura mod in your Dante to finally complete the 12 times combo multiplier after gaining the full stack from the Gun and Blade perk. Now, all you need to do is equip your Exalted grimoire, then just press the melee button, and then shoot your grimoire to activate the effective secondary outburst that grants more critical chance to your Exalted weapon. If you have a Tau forged version of the Topaz Archon shard, then you can further push this to red crit numbers, making your first ability the ultimate killing machine that can be used in Steel Path and beyond levels. However, I would not suggest the same setup in Deep Archimedia, as your grimoire will be useless, especially if you have a debuff wherein you will be drained of energy. Remember that Dante's Noxua skill does drain energy per shot, and it's really hard to recover energy once you are in a Deep Archimedia mission, unless you are a tank Warframe that can regenerate energy through mods like Rage or Hunter Adrenaline. Nonetheless, Dante is still a versatile Warframe perfect for almost all situation in Warframe. I doubt he will be in the top 3 of the meta Warframes soon, but he surely be used by players more often because of how versatile Dante's abilities are for both solo and team plays. As I have said, Dante wasn't the one who received the biggest nerf in the recent hotfix done by Digital Extremes. Instead, the developer just nerfed to oblivion the slam capacitor buff of the Arca titron. This is hilarious since the weapon was added way back in 2017, and it has the same buff until now. Basically, each slam capacitor charge multiplied base slam damage by 2 up to a max of 10 charges, which would total out to a 1024 times multiplier. A combination of the multiplier at max and the buffs that Digital Extremes made to slam attacks allowed us to get easy 2 billion damage right now. In the past, it was an unreliable synergy because we need Eclipse to boost its damage, then it's only a specific synergy made for Warframes such as Protea, or even Warframes with the invisibility that can maintain the weapon buff of Eclipse. Then before even getting the huge damage, you are required to build up the slam capacitor, and acquiring 1 stack is kind of a chore in the past. But since the addition of melee influence in Colorvo, I have been easily getting stacked for slam capacitor, then getting 12 times combo multiplier at the same time, with the help of Colorvo's 4th ability to further boost the damage of the nuke attack of Arca titron. The changes in slam damage, wherein all mods that you equipped in your weapon will affect your final slam damage, made it even better that you can rely on the Arca titron's nuking power after the Dante Unbound update. But after a few days of fun, Digital Extremes finally said that the slam capacitor buff wasn't intended to be as good with the slam damage changes. Right now, each slam capacitor charge additively stacks the base slam damage up to a max of 10 charges. For comparison's sake, it calculates similarly to the Seismic Wave mod, but at max charges grants a plus 1000% slam damage increase. To make it clearer, that 2 billion damage got bonked away by the developer, and the largest damage you can get right now is ranging from 2 million to a lucky 10 million damage or more. No more big numbers for the Arca titron as it breaks the game. I'm not even sad or angry about these changes, instead I'm laughing at how Digital Extremes just nuke everything fun in their game. As I have said, the slam capacitor buff has been in the game since 2017, and in just one update they decided to just nerf the powerful buff to dust because it doesn't fit well with the changes that they have made on the slam damage interaction with mods. In all my years playing Warframe, I have seen a lot of nefarious nerfs that the team did, and this is one of the funniest because it seems like they did not test out or bother to check first whether there are special combos that will mess up the slam damage changes. Instead, it looks like they were just waiting for players to find broken synergy and just fix it when they think that it's not what they intend to happen to their game. I think they were too busy with all the events that they missed small portions of the updates, and while it's not a big deal at all for players like me, who knows how Digital Extremes operate, still, this will truly piss off those players who worked their way in getting all the stuff for the specific synergy. And then after a couple of days, the synergy gets nuked and the developer's only comment is that it's not intended to be in Warframe. It's funny because this always happened in Warframe, but I also feel for those players who invested too much for the synergy. Rest in peace, Arca Titron. You are that synergy that was never meant to happen in Warframe. By the way, getting back to the Dante and secondary outburst synergy, we can expect that the synergy will also get some balancing and changes in the future. I don't know if you have heard it already, but Digital Extremes was talking about stat stick and how it's not intended in the game. A couple of months ago, there was someone in Twitter who have commented to one of Pablo's posts asking if they could do something about stat stick and how it's annoying in Duviri circuits and some of the builds for Warframes like Ash, Gara, Korra, and other pseudo-exalted weapon wielders require stat stick to make their weapon good in the game. If somehow you have Korra in the Duviri circuit, then you will be inefficient, as without a stat stick, your Korra's whip claw damage won't be that good. Rebecca did reply to this comment saying that they are planning to do something about pseudo-exalted weapons in the future. The idea is to have a separate modding for pseudo-exalted weapons, and this means that those stat stick interaction that we are using right now could be gone in the future. There are lots of setup that I am using stat sticks, and this will definitely make those Warframe who rely on this less effective than with a stat stick in hand. Basically, if Digital Extremes will have a separate modding for pseudo-exalted weapons, then it's safe to assume that they will remove the Riven mods, as it would be unfair that pseudo-exalted will have Riven mods and the exalted weapons can't. The most acceptable fix to this is that Digital Extremes will allow Riven mods for exalted weapons also, but this is a big question mark right now. And based from my experience, Digital Extremes are always trying to balance the game to minimum, instead of giving more power to the setup that requires it. In addition, this means that we will have to spend more forma in pseudo-exalted Warframes, and worst, we can't take advantage of some of the best stat stick interaction in the game that we have farmed for days, weeks, or even months. I'm not saying that they will nerf is as bad as the Arca Titron, but it's always safe to assume the worst so we won't get that disappointed. Now, I would like to know your thoughts about these changes. Let us discuss it in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Squad Leader, signing off.